It's that time again, time for another episode of Bob's You Name It. You'll never know what you'll find on Bob's workbench. And now, here's Bob.
Welcome, everyone. I know it's been a couple days before not before. It's been a crazy week. It's been a while since I've done anything. We've been preparing to return to 5 days on, 2 days off, instead of the other every other week. So I've been trying to get a bunch of stuff wrapped up before that started, and I didn't do too good of a job. Anyway, so I thought I'd real quickly throw something together, and I see Charlie. And if you can see behind me here, somebody came by this afternoon and said, "Hey, I've got this." I said, "Sure, I'll take it. What the heck?" So let's go take a quick gander at this thing, shall we? Nice reflection. So it's an electric, battery operated clock. Definitely made in the 70s. It's not too sure its history. The reason why I say I know it's in the 70s right now, because I haven't taken it apart, is if you remember, for those of you who grew up during that time, pine furniture was becoming really popular because it was really cheap. And it was very common for, most of the time it was stained in a walnut color. This is more of a, well, I guess it's a walnut color, but it's not as dark as I've seen some. Anyway, this thing is pretty massive as far as the piece goes. The movement's really small. So anyhow, the neighbor dropped it off. Said, "Do you want it?" I said, "Sure, why not? I'll take it and see what I can do with it." So I stuck a battery in it, no luck. So I'm going to take it apart for what it's worth. It's kind of a weird thing here. So yeah, it's all wood and stuff, little clock. Because when you turn it around, oops, sorry. When you spin it around, there it is. There's the movement. So some of these are still made, so I might be able to find a replacement if it's really that bad, but I don't know yet. So I find it kind of weird that it sticks out that far, and that's where the hook is. I would have done something different, and I still might do something different. But anyway, I still gotta take it apart and see what mess I can make out of it. Anyway, so I can't use both hands right now, so I gotta put this down, and we'll see what disasters I can cause. So hang on. Long screws. That's a hefty one. This is in the way. there it is. So, oh, seal of approval. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and get it off out of the way. So we can get into the heart of this little devil. So, hang on.
I guess they have tamper seals on is what those are. I had a battery in it. It's kind of weird. I don't know, looked up anything about this movement. So I did put a battery in it, and it did wiggle back and forth, which I don't know what that means, but it wiggles. Was wiggling. No more wiggle. Oh. So this part right here, I'm not too sure how that's supposed to work, so I have to look to see if there's any other folks out there that have worked on one of these things. I'm sure there's something on here. Remember that Seth Thomas I took apart? Couldn't figure out for the life of me how to get it back together. Bought another movement, and then I looked it up. I looked it up online, and I saw a better picture of it, and it's like, oh. Anyway, still working, and it keeps really good time. It's amazing. All right, well, I'm going to do some investigating and find out what I can find out about this movement, and see if they still make them, if there's anything, or what the deal is. So, well, I got it running, so now it's just a matter of working on the case, cleaning it up. Ended up taking this apart, dissecting it a little bit, and I couldn't get my hands and the camera and parts, and so I just figured I'll just go ahead and get it cleaned up, oiled it. That's all it took was some oil. I know, electric motor, oil, but yeah. So it turned out that it had, you can't see it, but there's this seal thing on there. I tried to save it just because, I mean, the thing, they don't make this movement. And if you can, I saw it online, but none available. So anyway, that's where it's sitting. It's back together, it's running. And now I'm just going to do some messing around with the case. Good evening, everybody. Okay, so it's the next day. Is it the next day or is it a 2-day? No, no. Anyhow, no, there's no relation to why I'm looking at the candle. It was just there. The reason why we're here is because we're going to take a little walk over to here. It's not done yet, but I saved you from all the tedious stuff. And if you remember this 1970 vintage Germanish clock, which I gotta figure out how to pronounce that correctly. Anyway, if you'll notice, kinda, sorta, maybe, it's working. It's a miracle. And the movement's back inside the clock. So I was just letting it run like this before I finished putting it all the way back together. But it's close. Didn't turn out too shabby. It's huge. Well, it's one large piece of pine. And I gotta find someplace to hang this sucker, because I need to find a place to hang this sucker. So anyway, this is where we are. I'm just letting it see how. That doesn't make any sense. I'm good at those. I just wanted to see how accurate. I need to find a clock. Let's use this. Okay, so really? Come on. That's not what I want to see. Love technology. Let's go back. There we go. So it says it's currently 8:05. More running. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's not the right thing. What am I looking at? Come on, wake up. 8:06.
And it's a little fast. So anyway, do some adjusting, but it's pretty much ready to go back together. Get it hung on a wall somewhere, and we'll show you the final finished, what it looks like. And but yeah, we're making progress. So until then. Well, it's pretty close to the right time, but that's not why you're looking at this. So I thought I'd take a moment and show you that it's finished. It's all back together and working. And hanging. But it's all done. Alrighty, well, that's the end of this little project. Now I just got to find a permanent place for it to live. And yeah. So until then, looks like the next one's going to be something that looks kind of like that. Even though looks like it went for a swim. Anyway, so we'll end this here and get this up and edited and all that fun stuff. So until then, we'll talk to you on the next one.
Well, that's going to do it for another episode of Bob's You Name It. Tune in next time for more fun with Bob and his shop on Bob's You Name It. Today's episode was brought to you by Bob, the first name in first names for over 100 years.